Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's your man Wise back at it again with another reaction video. All right, man, this is another clip from the Benny Show. Man, please, if you have not already subscribed to his channel, go check him out and subscribe to the channel. I'm a big fan of the Benny Show, man. His content is it's dope. It's dope. This is, Trump just announced his chosen vice president. If it was up to me, I would choose either Carrie Lake. I'm a big fan of Carrie Lake and what she was doing out there in Arizona. I do think that she probably got hosed out there. Or Byron Donald, man. I really, really like Byron Donald a whole lot. Let me slide the video in here. I appreciate all the love and support, man. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know who you think. Who do you think that Trump should choose, for vice president? I like Vivek Ramaswamy a lot. I don't know if he should be selected for the VP, but I definitely think he should have a role within the administration in some shape, way, form, or fashion. I definitely think that I like Vivek a lot. And I love the fact that he's a younger person, articulate, very smart. And, I just love the way that he's been really pushing hard on mainstream media and being willing to step out there with some of the, smaller or, independent media outlets out there. And he's just really willing to go out there and speak to the people wherever he can. And, I definitely appreciate, Vivek for that. Without further ado, let's jump into this video right here. Let's go. Hey, the other thing, I know it's gonna be a long video. I know when you see it. Hey, please make sure you watch all the way through. Smash that like button for me. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump talking about Ron DeSantis. Obviously, this has been a sore issue for Donald Trump. Ron DeSantis probably got it the worse than Nikki Haley last night from Donald Trump, talking about his fancy shoes. But then also noting that Ron DeSantis will probably drop out after Iowa. That's what we've been hearing, and endorse Donald Trump. That's what we've been hearing. That Ron DeSantis, after Iowa, which the Iowa caucuses are on Monday, that Ron DeSantis will drop out and then endorse Trump, and we'll try and rebuild the bridge. Now, will that work for you? Will that work for the Republican base? Knowing what we know about Donald Trump would be like, all is forgiven, right? We'll see.
Maybe
we'll see.
Maybe
he's going to need a united front to go against
Maybe we're not sure yet if that is the case, but we do know that, Trump did stand up for, DeSantis during the last, gubernatorial election, down there in Florida. But, Trump, I mean, it's politics, man. So I get it. There's politics can get a little dirty and messy from time to time.
Demonic machine that is quite clearly attempting to fortify once again their election right now. The reason why Joe Biden is getting screamed at in the White House by Barack Obama. But we'll see. Here's Trump on fancy shoes DeSantis last night.
He's going to be out of the race very soon. He's going to be out very soon. I watched him last night. He's standing up with his shoes, his fancy shoes. And he's going to be out of the race within, a lot of people say before New Hampshire. Before New Hampshire. What does that mean? Iowa.
Yeah.
So the word on the street is that DeSantis does drop out. Spent a whole lot of money. As Christie said on the hot mic, and that DeSantis drops out before Iowa. And then what happens next? Well, what happens next is Donald Trump begins to build out a cabinet, because then effectively there is no more competition against Donald Trump. You can see in the recent polls, no one's even able to crack like 10%.
No, it's not even close. It's not even close, man. The people have already stood up and said, exactly who they want to challenge Joe Biden in 2024. The people have already spoken. At this point, everybody's, they're basically competing for second, third, and fourth places and positions on the cabinet at this point.
Against Trump. So once you lose the people that can even crack into the double digits, which Nikki Haley's been in double digits, depending on the poll, Ron DeSantis has been in double digits, depending on the poll. Once you get rid of those, the race is effectively done.
Yeah.
You know that I like Vivek. We've had a fun working relationship with Vivek, right? But the race is done. Okay, so here it is, and you can see here Donald Trump obviously very steadily and in a very healthy manner gaining. This is total national polls, and you can see Haley and DeSantis muddling around the 10% mark. Nobody is able to crack 10% against Trump. Trump at 60%, right?
I mean, Did any of these people really think that they had a chance? But you got to you got to toss your hat in the ring, and I get it. And it's definitely helped out DeSantis from a standpoint of, just getting his name, known out there nationally. And I will say this, the debate that DeSantis did with, Gavin Newsom, phenomenal. That did, in my opinion, it did a lot of good for his campaign. And I could easily see, Ron DeSantis being a front runner in 2028. And, but this was just kind of a precursor. And this is kind of just a test to see if he could make any waves, against Trump. I don't think he knew, I don't think he, had a real thought that he would, have a chance to win. But I think this was more about, just getting his name known, more known on a national level.
Right. And so the only hope is DeSantis either in Iowa. DeSantis has done a bunch of work in Iowa, but if he doesn't win in Iowa, he's got the endorsement of the governor and everything. Doesn't win in Iowa, it's finished, right? Nikki Haley in New Hampshire, that's the next great hope. Nikki Haley doesn't do well in New Hampshire, as Christie's on the hot mic saying, right, in New Hampshire, boom, then it's done. Then it becomes.
I'll tell you what, Vivek has done a number on Nikki Haley. Goodness gracious. Vivek by himself, I think, probably crushed Nikki Haley's chances. Pretty much, honestly, of probably even being in the cabinet, to be honest. I'm not, I don't know if she would want to be in Trump's, cabinet. I'm not sure. But, man, he was going at her hard, man. Equal rights and equal lefts.
About it becomes Trump's party. It already is, but it becomes like the Trump administration marching forward. And this is the biggest news out of last night. The biggest news out of last night, Ron DeSantis has been asked if he would take the VP spot, and Ron DeSantis said flatly no for Ron DeSantis administration. As a Florida resident, hey Ron, you got a state to run down here.
Yeah, I don't live in Florida, but Florida's trending as one of the better states in our union, and I personally wouldn't want Ron DeSantis to be VP. The preference would be there's way more good to be done with him being the governor down in Florida than him moving, to a VP spot, in my opinion.
Would love to have you back. You know what I mean? Like, this is where my kids are being raised. Would very much like to have your attention. You are a very good governor. Would like to have your attention back down here. Thank you.
When you look at what Ron DeSantis has done, and I remember that race, initially when he was running against, Andrew Gillum, and I mean, it was close, and he had a lot of people riding, a lot of black people were riding for Andrew Gillum and the Democrats. In some kind of way, Ron DeSantis squeaked out, and that was hands down the best thing that could have happened to Florida. We all know, what came out, about Andrew Gillum, and I won't get into that on this particular show here. But we know had Andrew won, man, there's no telling what the state of Florida would look like right now.
Like, speaking on behalf of a father of three who moved down here because of your policies, I'm proud to say Ron DeSantis inarguably either the most effective or one of the top three most effective Republican governors in my lifetime, right? So if you're a Florida resident, if you want to move to Florida, you can see the results down here. Like, please come back and focus on the state. That's very important. Ron DeSantis won't be VP. Nikki Haley, will she be VP? Well, let me tell you what. Donald Trump made huge news last night. I think probably the most newsworthy moment of the night when Donald Trump said, the VP selection has already been made.
Oh, wow.
It's done.
Okay.
It's finished. Huh? Whoa. I mean, again, normally this is something that happens like in the summer, like the VP, like who will become vice president? Like that's something that heats up after like you've locked up and clinched the process. But I bet you could see a VP announcement like in February.
Wow.
For Donald Trump then. Like once everyone drops out. So who's it going to be?
In my opinion, it's got to be Carrie Lake. It's got to be Carrie Lake, right? I like Byron Donald, a lot. But maybe, I know he's, I guess would quote unquote be considered a junior senator, I believe. I'm sorry, junior representative. Maybe he just doesn't have enough years, under his belt, in Congress. But Carrie Lake, I know she doesn't have really any, political experience. But I think she'd be a great running mate.
Check out this clip, and I'll tell you what we know, what we found out in a series of late night phone calls last night. Watch.
Who would be in the running for vice president?
Well, I can't tell you that really. I mean, I know who it's going to be.
Give us a hint.
We'll do another show sometime.
Well, what about any of the people who you've run against? Would you be open to mending fences with any of them?
I will. I've already started to like Christie better.
Christie for vice president?
I don't
Now, we know daggone well that ain't happening.
see it. I don't see it. That would be an upset. Christie for vice president.
You know,
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to announce.
I do want to get to this other question before.
Do you hear the audience go, boo, no, Chris Christie? I have a soft spot in my heart for Chris Christie. He's funny. He's a funny person. I've done some interviews with Chris Christie, not this election cycle. He's a funny person. And he, he's like rabidly anti-Trump, and that's because of personal animus. He thought he was going to get a big time fat position in Trump's administration. They were so mean to him too when he dropped out. Breitbart went with the GOP field is thinning because Chris Christie dropped out. Oh man, no. Okay. The Babylon Bee said that Chris Christie is dropping out to spend more time with his family-sized bucket of chicken or something like that. Like,
no.
Come on, guys. Come on
Now. We don't have to.
But you can see Donald Trump. I already like Chris Christie better for VP. Here's the part that is a tell. Okay. So here's the tell. I just want you to watch. I never replay clips on the show, but I do want you to watch. The first 10 seconds of this interaction, because I believe this shows you who Donald Trump has already picked. We're going to replay this clip. This will tell you everything. Look at how Donald Trump interacts with the Fox News hosts.
Who would be in the running for vice president?
Well, I can't tell you that really. I mean, I know who it's going to be.
Give us a hint.
We'll do another show sometime.
Well, what about any of the people who you've run against? Would you be?
We'll do another show sometime. Ooh. Oh, you're going to like this. You're going to like this. Donald Trump says to Fox News. What does that tell you? We'll do a show sometime about it. What does that tell you? Well, who just had a show on Fox News canceled? Who is someone who's been reported in the corporate press as Melania's favorite news show that she's watched and her favorite anchor? Who's been reported in the press is the person that Melania is actively asking Donald Trump to name as vice president. Tucker Carlson. Now,
would Tucker Carlson want this job? Would he really want that job? I mean, he's built a great platform over there on X. I can't believe he was fired, from Fox. And I can't believe that. Honestly, that surprised me big time, when I seen that happen. But really, somebody drop me a comment down below. Do y'all really see Tucker Carlson taking the job of VP?
Is that the best pick? Well, hot damn. Last night, people thought it really was the best pick. And as we've gone through and made a number of phone calls late into the evening, I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning, just chit-chatting with some people. It's become quite clear to me that that's where the energy is. It's come quite clear to me that it's just a feeling. I would be lying to you if I told you that somebody told me, yes, it is Tucker Carlson. That's the pick. But I'd also be lying to you if I told you that is not absolutely in contention. And quite literally the thing that is being worked on behind the scenes the most.
Whoa.
That's what
if Tucker Carlson gets, if it's announced that Tucker Carlson is going to be the running mate, with President Trump, the mainstream media will probably explode. They are going to freaking lose it. I know people that despise Tucker Carlson. I mean, so you have a lot of people on the left that would just flat out, we would probably see videos on TikTok and Instagram, and whatever other platform, YouTube, we will probably see videos of people losing their freaking minds if Tucker Carlson is announced as a running mate for Trump, man.
I found out last night. Very, very interesting stuff. Now, Donald Trump's been dropping these breadcrumbs for a long time. Donald Trump was asked directly, are you going to pick Tucker Carlson? Check it out.
Would you consider Tucker Carlson on your VP list?
Oh,
Now,
wow.
I want to give you a hypothetical here. You're a big sports fan. You know, like Nick Saban's going to retire at some point. And if you talk to the athletic director at Alabama, he would say he has a list. So would Tucker Carlson be on your list of potential VPs? And how many names might be on that list as you sit and look and survey the political field?
Well,
shout out to Nick Saban, just retired. Whoever, I don't know whose voice that is, but man, shout out to him. I mean, it just happened about a week or so ago, man, and they've already filled the position. So look at that.
first of all, I did my first, you could call it counter programming, but I won't call it that. But Tucker wanted to do an interview during the first debate. And I think because this is what your business is, we broke every record
Monster audience.
in history. Yeah. I think it just hit over 300 million people. Talk about it.
Would you consider Tucker, though, that based on those
I
numbers?
like Tucker a lot. I guess I would. I think I'd say I would because he's got great common sense. When they say that you guys are conservative or I'm conservative, it's not that we're conservative. We have common sense.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Common sense isn't common. That's the crazy thing. So many people are like, yeah, common sense, yeah. No, common sense isn't common. Have y'all seen the policies that these folks have been implementing over the past 4 years? That goes right there to let you know common sense isn't common. Have you seen the people that they elected in the office? Common sense isn't common.
So you have two guys, Tucker and Trump, that are in the public eye all the time, that are going around saying the same thing about each other. Tucker Carlson asked if he would be Donald Trump's VP. Check this out.
Where am I on Trump now? Well, I love Trump. Personally, I think we're going to see Trump's emergence as the most significant thing to happen in American politics in 100 years because he reoriented the Republican Party against the wishes of Republican leaders. But when I think about Trump right now, so it's July of 2023, I'm struck by his foreign policy views. Trump is the only person with stature in the Republican Party, really, who's saying, wait a second, why are we supporting an endless war in Ukraine? And that, leaving aside whether Trump's going to get the nomination or get elected president or would be a good president, I can't even assess that. All I can say at this point is I'm so grateful that he has that position. He's right. And everyone in Washington's wrong. Everyone. And Trump is right on that question.
Come on, what a thing to say. Donald Trump is right, and everyone in Washington is wrong.
Yeah, that's a powerful statement to make right there. Very powerful statement to make.
Well, doesn't that sound like someone who's interested in being vice president?
That's a big flex
I can
right
tell
there,
you
baby.
this, that during interviews with Tucker that we've done live, and during a wonderful dinner that we had with Tucker over the break, myself, my family, actually just my son, that we were able to have a very long dinner with Tucker, and it's really neat to talk shop about a bunch of stuff. Like his views hasn't changed on that, right? Like, not to betray any private conversation, but like what he says, he's an authentic man. What he says in public is what he says in private, is who he is in public is who he is in private. It was like sitting through like a 3-hour-long private dinner, Tucker Carlson Tonight Show. It's like amazing. It's the same. It's so refreshing when the people are the same, where they're the same people.
Absolutely.
Right? In front of the scenes and behind the scenes. It's awesome. It's awesome. So what I'm telling you, and I would tell you, if somebody has definitively told me it's Tucker, what I'm telling you is I'm getting a feeling we're noticers. We're big time noticers on this program. Like, that's our superpower. We're alive. We pay attention. So here's Tucker Carlson being asked about this directly by Roseanne. Check out the answer.
What do you think?
I certainly support Trump. I'll tell you that. And I can tell you, I've always agreed with Trump's policies, always. And I lost friends over it.
Yeah.
But
the policies were great. you can't refute the policies. The issue wasn't the policies. The issue was the rhetoric. That was the issue. The issue was, somewhat some of his crassness. That was the issue. It was never the policies. No one that I've spoken to has refuted any policy. And a lot of folks, honestly, especially on the left, they don't even know the policies. So when you start, going down the list of the policies that was implemented, during the Trump administration, a lot of people, are like, man, those were great policies, but they couldn't get over the rhetoric. They couldn't get over the crassness, of this man. And they just couldn't look at, the policies and look at what he was saying. Yeah, was it crass? Yes. But was it true? No one would refute that what he was saying or what he was speaking was truth. They just didn't like the way he was saying it.
And I've never really actively supported anybody because it's not my job to actively support people. I watch, I like to watch. But I'm a voyeur.
Yeah.
But I became an active Trump supporter when they raided Mar-a-Lago last summer, the summer of 2022. That can't stand.
No, that can't.
And
that was something.
Agree with Trump on a lot. But even if I disagreed with Trump on a lot, I'd still be a Trump supporter because you cannot allow that. You cannot allow the regime, the president of the United States, to use the Justice Department to knock the front runner out of the race. You can't do that.
No, you can't do that.
So it's bigger than Trump.
We're looking quite third worldish right now. And if it was up to them, we probably would be a third world nation. If it was up to them, that's where they want us. You look at some of these cities, you look at some of the states, California, have and have nots. Middle class is shrinking. It is shrinking big time. In my opinion, that is their preference.
Trump, it's bigger than Biden. It's a question of, do you want to live in a free country with a functioning justice system?
That's exactly
and
right.
So
Absolutely.
I'm voting for Trump. And if they convict him, I will send him the max donations and I will lead protests. That's how I feel.
That's how I feel.
Because, and by the way, if I thought that he had committed some real crime, I wouldn't feel that way, but he didn't. He and Biden are both found with classified documents at home, along with every other former high-level federal official in history. But only Trump is indicted. Like, tell me how that works. Oh,
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Everyone in okay, so let's stack the evidence here. Everyone in DC is wrong, and Donald Trump is right. Everyone in DC is wrong, and Donald Trump is right. Tucker says. And then Tucker goes on to say, I'll lead protests for Donald Trump.
That's huge.
Well, I mean, is this your ticket? Look at it. Let's make this big. Come on. I mean, like, are you ready for this, America? Let me know in the comment section. Like, fire off in the comment section.
People
Trump,
would lose it.
Tucker, that's got.
You're going to have a lot of people there's going to be some people on the right that are probably not going to like it if it is Tucker Carlson being, pinned as the, next vice president. But you're definitely going to have a lot of people on the left, man. They are going to lose their minds.
Got to be the bumper sticker. Trump, Tucker, 2024. Are you prepared for this?
I would get a bumper sticker.
If I had
I just wouldn't put it on my car. I don't like bumper stickers on cars. I just
if the people that I'm speaking with say anything other than the audio that I can play for you here that they've said in public and on podcasts. I know this about Tucker. He doesn't desire or demand. He doesn't desire power. He's lived in Washington, D.C. for a long time. Could have absolutely done a campaign for himself years ago.
Absolutely.
Could have created a situation where
if he wanted to, Tucker definitely could, he could be in the House. He could be a senator if he wanted to. I mean, he has the following. He obviously has the funds. He has the cachet. He has the, the ability to, galvanize people and stand and speak in front of a crowd. He definitely has the ability.
Where he could run for office and he's famous enough and he's powerful enough to have done that. He didn't. And so it wouldn't be about that. But honestly, quite frankly, oftentimes and almost always, the best leaders are the reluctant leaders. They can see things clearly. They can connect with people in a way that those who are just craven for power and desirous of power, jealous for power, and searching and seething for power, that you sense that on a spiritual level, right? Tucker, on the other hand, is just a man of the people. This is Tucker Carlson walking into the UFC event in Madison Square Garden. Just a reminder that this was inside of the bluest area in America, arguably the most Democrat area in America. You have Tucker Carlson howling with laughter behind Donald Trump to the roaring cheers of 35,000 people in an arena.
Yeah. I seen that. That was crazy.
Kid Rock's obviously there. Don Jr.'s there. You can see Dana White there too.
Yeah, Kid Rock cool as a
But
fan.
this is what transcends politics. What would happen if Joe Biden tried to walk into a place like that?
Oh,
What would happen then?
it would be terrible.
It wouldn't, obviously wouldn't go the same way.
No, it definitely wouldn't.
We had Tucker Carlson live on a X space, right? Which is kind of like the ability. It's like if you're not familiar with the X platform, it's just being able to ask people questions on like what's more like a radio interview, right? There's no video component involved, but it's a really neat way to like listen to conversations live. And so I asked him directly, Melania wants you as VP. Here's his answer.
Here we go. Tucker, I'm sitting here looking at an article right now from Axios. And this article says that Melania Trump wants you to be the vice presidential candidate for Donald Trump with Donald Trump in 2024. What do you say to Melania Trump?
Well, she hasn't texted me that, and it's in, a publication published in Washington. So I'm gonna kind of reserve judgment on that. Obviously, I'm flattered if it's true. I like Melania. I don't really know her, but she's Eastern European, so that suggests we have exactly the same attitudes about everything. So I'm flattered.
Have you ever heard him say no?
Nope. Wow. There was
Have you
not
heard
a
him
no.
say no?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't heard him say no. Tucker Carlson suggested someone else for VP before. We're going to give you as clear of a picture as we can here. I'm talking about a feeling. I'm talking about like our job is to absorb energy. Tucker Carlson said maybe Vivek would make a great VP. And I would tend to agree, actually.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like Vivek. I think he's one of those people who everyone beats up on Vivek for he's a phony and all this stuff. I don't know. I've covered a lot of campaigns going back to 1992, and I've noticed this thing in many candidates, and I notice it in him. The process of running for president and speaking 3 times a day and having people throw hostile questions in your face causes you to change. They all change during these campaigns, like for real, inside. And I feel like Vivek's positions have gotten much more sincere since the beginning of this. Like I watch him with Nikki Haley, and I'm like, this is a guy who's very offended by her views, like for real. Mm-hmm. He's not attacking her because she's a woman. He's attacking her because he actually thinks her views are terrible for the country he lives in. And I love that.
Mm-hmm. Facts. I mean, Vivek wasn't on, my, list. Obviously, when I spoke at the beginning of this video as someone that I thought, would be considered for VP. Do I think he could do the job? Absolutely. I definitely think that he will be a part of the administration in some capacity. I don't know what that capacity is or what it would be. I would not mind seeing him maybe in the, the Secretary of Education. I would not mind seeing him there. He has young kids, and I think the talking points he has around education is huge, and I could definitely see him there. Could I see him at VP? Would I be upset if he was chosen, as the VP candidate? No, I wouldn't. Not at all.
So what do you think? Tucker Carlson has said Donald Trump is the only right person in Washington and everyone else is wrong. He said he'd lead protests for Donald Trump. Tucker Carlson and Trump are obviously very, very close. You can see here them at a golf championship at one of Donald Trump's clubs chanting, "Let's go Brandon" together. Again, howling with laughter. Here you go. Let's go Brandon. You've never seen that clip on CNN or Fox News.
No.
But you'll see it on this program because that's the energy, man. That's the energy.
Mm-hmm.
And Tucker and Trump laughing, Tucker and Trump like together and bringing people together. I don't know. Throw up that photo of them laughing or them at the event. It's great. I mean, I think it's great. They obviously have a wonderful
the
working
face that Tucker
relationship.
makes when he
And
laughs.
as we posited last night at the end of the show, when we brought on our all-star panel, Tucker Carlson could do his show from the vice president's office. He just do his show as VP. He could do a nightly show there from one observatory circle in Washington, D.C., the Naval Observatory where the vice president lives. You just turn that into a show. I just happen to have the JFK files that I marched over to the CIA and told them to give me here. Here, I'm going to read them to you live.
Wow.
And the classified UFO files. I mean, how awesome would that be?
That would be crazy.
A boy can dream, right? We don't have to dream, however, to see how neat it would be to have a crossover event with Tucker and Trump.
Mm-hmm.
There's been an ad, unofficial, as far as I know, unofficial ad with Tucker Carlson monologuing for Donald Trump in campaign ad form. And I feel like even though this wasn't produced directly by the Trump campaign, it is the most powerful message for Donald Trump. It brought chills to me the first time I saw it. It is one of the most convincing ads, political ads I've ever seen, even though it was put together not by the campaign. Tucker Carlson as a narrator for Trump's message and Trump as the tip of the spear. Please watch the most convincing campaign ad I've ever seen. Go.
Millions of Americans sincerely love Donald Trump. They love him in spite of everything they've heard. They love him often in spite of himself.
Yep.
They love Donald Trump because no one else loves them.
Donald Trump is bringing people together. He is bridging gaps. It's unfortunate that we've had to go through what we've gone through, layoffs and high gas and inflation through the roof and, the cost of food, just being, so crazy that, some people just can't afford, to eat good meals on a day-to-day basis just because, the cost of things are so expensive. He's bridging the gaps, man, and bringing people together, man.
The country they built, the country their ancestors fought for over hundreds of years, has left them to die in their unfashionable little towns, mocked and despised by the sneering half-wits with finance degrees but no actual skills who seem to run everything all of a sudden. Whatever Donald Trump's faults, he is better than the rest of the people in charge. At least he doesn't hate them for their weakness. Donald Trump, in other words, is and has always been a living indictment of the people who run this country. That was true 4 years ago when Trump came out of nowhere to win the presidency, and it's every bit as true right now. Trump rose because they failed. It's as simple as that. If the people in charge had done a halfway decent job with the country they inherited, if they'd cared about anything other than themselves, even for just a moment, Donald Trump would still be hosting Celebrity Apprentice. But they didn't. Instead, they were incompetent and narcissistic and cruel and relentlessly dishonest. They wrecked what they didn't build. They lied about it. They hurt anyone who told the truth about what they were doing. That's true. We watched. America is still a great country, the best in the world, but our ruling class is disgusting. A vote for Trump is a vote against them. That's what's going on in this country.
Wow. Yo, that was amazing. Whoever put that together, man. Hey, that was bravo, man. That was awesome, man. Wow. They should definitely use that. I don't know, if it can definitely be shared, on social media, things of that nature, for sure.
It's inspiring. It's inspiring. Can you
Absolutely
punch in a little bit on this photo? It's inspiring. And they're clearly having Donald Trump and Tucker Carlson are both energy guys.
Mm-hmm.
They're men who absorb energy and who make decisions based on their guts and what's right. And I'm just telling you that this is what I feel. I'm also a man who like notices I'm alive. I pay attention, and I think that this is it. When Donald Trump announces that he's already made his decision and that's already done, he looks at Fox with a smirk and he goes, "We'll do another show on this."
Yeah, it's
because he knows that Tucker Carlson's name has been banned from Fox News. This is just me reading the tea leaves. I'm alive. I notice things. He knows that Tucker Carlson's name has been banned on Fox. Trump knows this. Fox News hosts aren't allowed to say Tucker Carlson's name because of the very ugly breakup that Fox News created.
Wow. I did not know that that was the case. I didn't know they were not allowed to mention his name. Wow.
And this is why Trump was smirking and chuckling to himself last night, because he knows that Fox News will effectively have to give Tucker her show back. like Tucker Carlson will go right back on Fox. He'll force it by making Tucker Carlson his vice president. Oh, man. What incredible vindication. What a beautiful story arc that would be, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why Donald Trump says to the Fox News hosts who are like clawing and begging him, like, give us your VP choice. That's why he says, oh, you're going to have to do another show about that. Watch.
Who would be in the running for vice president?
Well, I can't tell you that really. I mean, I know who it's going to be.
Give us a hint.
We'll do another show sometime.
Well, what about any of the people who you've run against? Would you be open to mending fences with any of them?
I will. I've already started like Christie better.
Christie for vice president?
I don't see it. That would be an upset. Christie for vice president. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to announce. Now,
I do want to get to this other question before.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there it is. Okay. We'll show you exactly why Trump said that. Again, we're alive and we notice. Donald Trump speaking in South Carolina. Donald Trump was talking after the Tucker Carlson interview. And the reason why you can see the tell, even in a poker player like Donald Trump, even you can see the tell, is because Tucker's name is banned on Fox. And when Donald Trump said Tucker Carlson's name, because they'd done a very successful interview, then Fox had to cut away. And Donald Trump thinks this is patently hilarious. If you pick Tucker Carlson as your VP, then Fox has to give him his show back. Come on. Watch.
And we're at just about 60% already, and we're going up, and we're the only ones going up. They're going down. They're going down, down, down. They ought to stop wasting their time. You know, they're wasting a lot of time with these ridiculous debates that nobody's watching. Their last debate was the lowest rated debate in history. That's a good compliment, isn't it?
I've watched clips of the debates, for this electoral season, but I have not watched a full debate. And a lot of it has to do is the fact that, Trump wasn't, a part of those debates. Had he been a part of those, I would have watched them. But I just didn't see the value, honestly.
And what was I doing, Marjorie? I was someplace else, wasn't I, huh? I was doing another interview. We had 271 million people listening to the Tucker Carlson interview. That's an all-time record.
271 million people watched that interview. That's almost the entire nation. That's definitely well over, 60, 70% of the nation, if I'm not mistaken.
So here we are, back in the thick of campaign season. We are now just 4 months away from the Iowa primaries, and you see former President Trump in a place where...
Isn't that great?
Mm-hmm.
What was I doing? I was on the Tucker Carlson show. Cut the feed. So good. Oh, man.
Wow.
It was awesome. So Trump knows that. And he knows that that's gonna bring great salt to some of the people that tried to stop him. And that's always brought Donald Trump great joy.
Man, goodness gracious, man. Shout out to the Benny Show, man. Hey, that was awesome, man. Hey, if you stayed the entire time, man, I definitely appreciate it, man. Who do you think, man? Drop me a comment down below, man. Who do you think should be the vice president for, vice president candidate, running with Trump? Who do you think it should be? I like Carrie Lake. I like Byron Donald. I would not be upset if it was Vivek. I definitely wouldn't be upset if it was Tucker Carlson. If it is Tucker Carlson, man, I mean, people are going to lose it if that is the case, man. If that is the case, people are going to lose their effing minds. And that's the truth. But hey, again, I appreciate all the love, man. Please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Drop me a comment down below. I love hearing from you guys, man. And if you enjoyed this type of comment, man, please make sure that you smash that like button for me. And I'll catch up with you guys next time. We out. Peace.